the site of a cookie cutter house that have been popping up all around America's former farmlands. This house in particular is the one to be the last to be built in the neighborhood. It's built in the same style and design as the rest of the houses in this neighborhood. They're built in an assembly line fashion. So the one group of workers does their job and then moves on to the next house and does the same job for that house too. All that's left for this house is the plumbing and the cement workers to come.
We'll be right back after these messages. Look over here at this poor gentleman struggling to get their workout. I mean, he can't even lift the bar. Oh, come on, those dumbbells are the lightest of the gym. Come on, buddy, don't look so down. I've got just the thing for you. Do you ever feel like you can't get the job done? Do you need a boost of confidence? Well, try this. Oster supplements give you all the nutrients you need to buff up. See the difference? Before he couldn't even lift a bar by himself. Now he's lifting over 200 pounds. Those dumbbells are nothing now. Look at him go. See how proud of those arms he is? That could be you. Buy Oster supplements today.
And we're back. Speaking of Oster supplements, the New York Yankees must have been taking some as they won their 4th World Series in a row. They beat the Brooklyn Dodgers, winning 4 out of 6 games in the rematch from last year. Billy Martin hit his 12th hit in the series, scoring Hank Bauer, winning the game, the series, and himself the spot of Most Valuable Player. The Yankees took an early lead with 2 wins in the first 2 games. Then the Brooklyn Dodgers came back the next 2 and started their own little comeback. However, that comeback was cut short in an 11-7 thrilling victory for the Yankees in Game 5. The last game, Game 6, ended narrowly with a 4-3 victory for the Yankees, winning them the World Series yet again.
Just recently, the United States and United Nations forces have met a stalemate with North Korea, causing the 3-year war to come to a close. However, many claim this war was unnecessary as the borderline between North and South Korea has not changed now that the war has ended. This bloody war all started in late June of 1950 when communist North Korea invaded democratic South Korea. North Korea had crossed over the 38th parallel, causing Truman to declare war and have General Douglas MacArthur deploy troops to begin the war. The United States, along with the UN, got involved due to South Korea being a democracy and the United States needing to defend the remaining democracies of the world. This was in order to retain the upper hand in the ongoing secretive Cold War with the Soviet Union. Our nation ultimately entered this war to keep communism contained across the globe. In the past 3 years, many long and gruesome battles have been fought in order to maintain the 38th parallel. These battles have included forces provided by the UN on South Korea's side and aid from China on communist North Korea's side. With many of these battles, no official victor was declared among the two sides. Unfortunately, midway through the battle, Truman did dismiss General MacArthur from his position due to a misunderstanding with the administration. This war has now just recently all come to a close under the administration of Eisenhower now that an armistice has been reached and both sides have declared to stop fighting. The 38th parallel still remains the dividing line of North Korea and South Korea. Here to share his thoughts on whether the war was a success is our foreign policy expert, Jacob Jones.
How are you, John?
I'm doing great. So, share with us some of your thoughts on the end of all this fighting.
Honestly, I have mixed feelings about the war. On one hand, we lost a great general due to a big misunderstanding or disagreement, however you see it, and it could have definitely been handled better. I believe that we actually should have pushed all the way into North Korea and completely crushed communism out of the Korean Peninsula. I do understand that it would have not been easy and would have taken many lives, but many people do truly believe that containment is key. I think we met the requirements to satisfy the people, but we without a doubt could have done more.
Thank you for your time, Jacob.
Thank you for having me.
As we can see, a clear benefit of this war that can be seen at this moment is that communism hasn't been spread to South Korea, and the country still remains a democracy we share an alliance with.
We have here today President Dwight D. Eisenhower. So it's been almost a year since you've been in office. You've gotten used to working in an office rather than the battlefield. What was that transition like?
I found it surprisingly easy due to the support from my cabinet, my advisors, and of course the American people who have showed me a lot of love so far.
Would you say your success was due to being a, quote, new Republican?
I believe that certainly had an effect because the voters knew that I could see both sides of the coin and I can use my experience to determine the best decisions for the American people.
Yeah, you are certainly right. For example, in your first year, you've strengthened Social Security, increased minimum wage, and you've done various other things. That's all in the past. Tell me, what are some of your plans for the future?
Some countries' infrastructure is going in the direction of public transportation. However, us Americans have always been more independent than other countries, and I plan to make the American-made automobile the future of American transportation.
Anything else of importance that the American people can expect to see, possibly against communism?
Yes, there are rumors of a Russian space program sending a satellite into space. If this is true, I plan to create a space program of our own to compete with the Russians.
That certainly sounds like a big deal. I think we're all looking forward to seeing what else you have in store for the future, considering what a wonderful job you've done so far.
I try my best to please the American people.
Well, it was nice having you on the show and giving us an insight on some future projects.